The Big WECK presents Buffalo on the Rise, sponsored by Doctor Kaplansky Dental Implants. Get new permanent teeth in 24 hours with our exclusive Teeth Now process. Welcome to the television show devoted to local business, Buffalo on the Rise, with your host, Joe Chili. There's an entrepreneurial spirit in Western New York that's putting our area on the cusp of greatness. Each week, Buffalo on the Rise features local business leaders and decision makers who are shaping our future. If it's about local business, we'll talk about it right here, right now, during Buffalo on the Rise.
I'm Joe Chili. On this edition of the Big WECK's Buffalo on the Rise, I'll introduce you to some interesting people from hometown businesses with interesting stories to tell. Like attorney Vince LoTempio. Did you know that your idea for a product or service may need to be legally protected? Find out how. Then Kim Keitz is here from Dobkin Tile with some ideas on how to make your living space beautiful with tile. And Doctor Kaplansky is back with tips on how to make your summer smile shine bright. All on this edition of the Big WECK's Buffalo on the Rise. Stay with us.
Hi, I'm Joe Chili, weekday morning, 7 to 9 a.m. on Buffalo's oldie station, the Big WECK. Joining us today on the Big WECK's Buffalo on the Rise is Vince LoTempio, who is a patent and trademark attorney. Vince, how are you today?
Good. How are you doing today?
Good. You know, we're going to talk about trademarks today, but can you give us just an idea of what the difference is between a trademark and a patent?
Oh, sure. You know, a trademark is a brand, and it's just like the old cowboys would have to brand their cows to separate their cows. You know, your brand separates your product from everybody else's product. The patent protects the way the product works, the utility of it. So if you have a new light bulb, nobody can make your light bulb. But if you have just a regular light bulb that everybody else is using, you're the only one that could put GE on that, and that's your trademark.
Okay. When you start talking about businesses, whether it be small or larger businesses, and trademark issues, what are some of the problems that people don't think about before they apply for a trademark?
You know, I always say it's more than just filling out a form. It's all the legal advice that the attorney gives you, right? And one of the things that we do right away is do a clearance search. And we want to make sure that nobody else is using the mark, and let's not waste our time filing for a trademark that somebody else has already registered. You know, that's one of the things. And certainly I've seen people that have tried to file it themselves. They come to me, they have the wrong classification. They don't choose a really good trademark as far as strong trademarks. So what I mean by that is a lot of people just want something that's very generic. And generic trademarks can't be trademarked, like the word soap, you know? So you have to look at the trademarks themselves, and when you're even just choosing the name. And the other thing is, you know, and we talked about this before we went on the air, is a lot of people don't realize you have to maintain the trademarks. You have to pay maintenance fees to keep them going. And one of the things that we do at our firm is we'll docket those dates and make sure that, you know, we don't miss any of those deadlines and you won't lose your trademark rights.
Vince, what are some of the, you know, the popular questions that people ask you when they come up? I mean, can people go to, and this is one of the things that the big thing now is AI. Well, I'm going to go to AI. I'm going to do it myself. I'm going to search and see if AI can make a trademark for me or something like this. People ask you about that?
Absolutely. You know, and the AI is a good starting point, I say, but it's never the finishing point. You always want to make sure what it says is correct. We've seen lawyers get in trouble with this, that they've actually cited case that AI made up. You know, and I've had clients come to me and say, look, I've created this nice cease and desist letter to send out, you know, using AI, and how does it look to me? And I look at a glance, to the untrained eye, it looks pretty good, but it's missing a lot of key elements, you know, that you know, legally that needs to be in there, or it's just plain incorrect. So yeah, I mean, it could be a starting point, it helps, but there's no way it's an end-all be-all.
Let's talk about some of the points, some of the fine points, or 5 points, as you were talking to me about before. Some of the points that people need an attorney for when filing an application.
Yeah, you know, that's what I was saying. You have to have the search, fill in the application out properly, which a lot of people just don't know that there's a lot of legal requirements when you're doing the application. monitoring the trademark after it's done. I know I'm missing one. I think number 4 on the list.
Yeah, the legal guidance,
just the legal
right?
guidance, just choosing the right trademark and how you use it. It's very important how the mark is used on your website. It's very important how you use it on your goods, if it's a t-shirt. If it's an ornamental use, just a smiley face on the front of the t-shirt, the trademark office is going to reject it. So before I file anything for somebody, I make sure that all the T's are crossed and the I's are dotted.
And as you said, you also have to look at the long-term strategy, right? And getting this renewed every 10 years?
Yeah, pretty much. That's the rule. When you first get it, after the first 5 years, you have to file something that's called a statement of incontestability. And a lot of people don't realize they have to do that. And once you had it for 5 years and it's been registered, nobody can contest it. It becomes incontestable. So it's very advisable to file it right as soon as those 5 years comes up. It's a 1-year period between the 5th and the 6th year to file it, but if you wait halfway through and somebody contests your mark, you're in the middle of a cancellation proceeding, and you could have avoided that by just simply filing your statement of incontestability. So there's and the other part of it is too is just seeing what else is out there and how people are using it against you, or using your mark. So we would want to do a search and try to send out those type of cease and desist letters and stop others from using the mark. If you know that somebody's using your trademark and you don't do anything to stop them, that could be a defense against enforcing your trademark. So there's a lot of legal advice that goes along with filing these trademark applications.
I was just going to ask you that. I mean, if you do have a trademark and you don't use it regularly, is that a deterrent, or is that something that can be used against you?
Yeah, they could consider that abandonment. But but say you're in the middle of a period of you don't have a source of your materials to manufacture something, and so you stop selling it for a period of time, but you don't have the intention to completely to stop using it, and you're going to use it down the road. As soon as your manufacturing problem gets resolved or whatever. So there is excusable non-use. There is, but yeah, if you stop using it, it's considered abandonment. The reason for that is that it's not like a domain name where you can just sit on it and not use it. In order to have a federally registered trademark, you have to have commerce, because the federal government, which the trademark office is, gets its power through the Constitution's Commerce Clause. So if there's not commerce going on and you're not selling anything, they can take your registration away.
All right, Vince, thank you very much. For more information, you're going to want to talk to Vince about this. For more information and answers to your questions, contact Vince LoTempio by calling 716-216-5000 or go to lotempiolaw.com. Sponsorship and promotional consideration for the preceding segment was presented by Vincent LoTempio. And you can join me weekday morning, 7 to 9 a.m. on the Big WECK. Hi, I'm Joe Chili, weekday morning, 7 to 9 on Buffalo's oldie station, the Big WECK. Joining us on the Big WECK's Buffalo on the Rise today is Kim Keitz, who is the showroom design consultant from Dobkin Tile. How are you today?
I'm good, Joe. How are you?
Good. Showroom design consultant. That's quite the title.
Yeah.
When you talk about things, I think that's got to be really interesting, because you've got to be able to conceptualize,
yes,
things. For me, it's like that goes there, that goes there. If there's something thrown over that chair, it doesn't look right, but I don't care. But to have all these things, is it difficult now to come up with different ideas?
Not so much. If the homeowner brings in like samples of their cabinet, maybe their countertop, and kind of let us know, what direction they're going in, what is their style, it kind of just falls into place.
Do you ever point out to them that might not be a good idea?
Yeah, sometimes I'm like, well, I don't know if that's going to look so good. You just got to kind of let them know, because you don't want them to walk out and someone walk in their house later and say, oh, yeah.
Well, you're a wholesale distributor, as I understand, but you also deal with the public itself. Which do you think is easier, to deal with the wholesale side of it or to deal with the public?
I like dealing with the public.
Do you?
Yeah, I do.
A little more personal, a little more...
Yeah. I have a lot of customers that have been coming back for years. So, it's nice helping them.
Do you ever go back to see what a house looks like, maybe, I mean, after completion? You know how you've kind of
Yes.
conceptualized for them.
Yes.
Then to go back and see what they've actually done and how it compares?
Yes, a lot of people are very kind and they'll send in their pictures and stuff to our emails. We have a Facebook page, we may put it on there. So it's always good to see the end product. Yeah.
What about sales teams? When you have your inside or outside sales teams that go out and talk to people or things like that, do they have pictures that they bring with them, or do they kind of work with individuals to try to come up with an idea?
Well, usually like our outside sales who work with like our designers and architects and go to the stores, they usually bring samples, full-size samples or architectural books. And we do have, visual sheets as well that they can look at.
I think I told you before I went on the air, I didn't know for years and years what a backsplash was, right? That can make a big difference in your home. I mean, even if you've got the whole kitchen, maybe, or you want to change the backsplash, you can change the dynamics in there, right?
Yes, that's your focal point. So it's always nice to, finish it off, put something beautiful there.
What about, they talk about, and I'm not exactly sure what this is, when you talk about large format tile, what is that?
Well, we have large format tiles, some that are like 24 by 48s, 30 by 60s. It gives you a nice seamless look, less grout line. Very beautiful, yeah.
Okay, and this is just, when you start talking about this, you're talking basically about kitchens, or you're talking about bathrooms, about both, or any place?
It could be both. Maybe they want to do it in their bathroom, in the shower, maybe an accent wall. You could do it on the floor. You could do it anywhere. I've had some people use the large ones on the backsplash as well, like they're doing with a lot of the quartz and granites now. Yeah.
What about, when you start talking about floor tile and wall tile, what's the distinction? I mean, is it difficult? Do they have to match in some fashion?
Well, I mean, it is nice to complement your wall and your floor. And then there is a difference between wall and floor tile. You can strictly only use wall tile on the wall, and you can use floor on the wall and the floor. But the wall tile, you need that strength and durability, so you cannot put it on the floor. You only use wall on the wall.
Okay.
Yeah.
And now I have to go into, when I go into the bathroom now, I have to compliment my hi there. You're doing a nice job today. Wall tile.
Yeah.
What about people that do the installation? If you're doing the conceptual ideas, are you doing installation too, or do you help people find installers?
We do have names of a lot of reputable installers that, we've seen their work. They've been coming to us for years. So if anybody needs an estimate, we can definitely give them names of some great installers.
When you start talking about redoing things in your home, we talk about things that are going to add the most value to your home, right?
Yes.
So that would be kitchens and bathrooms?
Kitchens and bathrooms. Those are, going to add value to your home. That's what's going to sell a home. They want to see something, spectacular, They used to, I remember as I was growing up, it was just a very, functional kitchen. Yeah.
Then you got to the things like the islands in the middle of the kitchens and things like that.
Yes.
Are those still big things?
Yes, islands are very big.
Really?
Yeah, everybody loves a good island. Yep.
Now,
People like to gather around.
And are kitchens, growing in size, or do you think they're shrinking?
No, I think they're growing, and a lot of people are going into the open concepts, where, they're taking walls down, where they want to see, visual sight lines from the kitchen into the living rooms, and so.
So if people watching today, viewing, are saying, maybe husbands to wives to husband, we really need to redo our kitchen.
Yeah.
Or our bathroom has that pink or green tile that, remember those?
Yes.
Yeah. So what's the first step? What should they do?
Come on in and see us, and, we're there to help you. We're going to make it as easy as we can for you. We don't want it to be stressful. And, if our hours don't work for you, Monday through Friday, we're there from 7:30 to 4:30. You can call us, and we'll make an after-hours appointment for you.
All right. Kim, thank you again for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
For more information and answers to your questions, contact Dobkin Tile by calling 716-684-1200 or go to dobkintile.net. Or you can visit their brand new showroom at 51 Benbrook Drive in Cheektowaga. Sponsorship and promotional considerations for the preceding segment was provided by Dobkin Tile, and you can join me weekday mornings 7 to 9 a.m. on the Big WECK. I'm Joe Chile. You can listen to me mornings on the Big WECK. Joining us today on the Big WECK's Buffalo on the Rise is Dr. Kaplansky. Doctor, I look at some of the certifications here. I look after your name and it looks like the alphabet, you know, with all the different things. Sure. But board certified in implant dentistry, diplomat of the American Board of Oral Implantology. What is it to be a diplomat? What does that exactly mean?
It was a lot of hard work, Joe, so to get to that point. Yes, absolutely. So to become a diplomat of the board, you have to not only perform thousands of implant surgeries, you have to take countless hours of continuing education, you have to pass a rigorous 3-hour written test, and you have to present 7 cases, I believe, your 7 surgeries to the board and defend them in front of people. So it's an oral exam that you have to take.
It's a little bit too much of an examination, I think, for me, but, and I'm sure all of these things are costly as well. It's something that you have to prepare for.
I will tell you the most cost is the cost of what we would call being away from the family, being away from the office. That's where the most, because you have to attend these meetings, you have to go to classes, you have to travel a lot. But I have absolutely no regret. It was a fantastic process, and it gives you a sense of accomplishment that nothing else would.
And you have another family member that is probably going to go into dentistry, right, in school right now.
My son is a D3 in dental school in Buffalo, and I'm very proud of him.
Yeah, and that's something to be proud of, because not everybody wants to go into the family profession, if you will. You know, Doctor, there's so many different things and different firms and different kinds of individuals that are talking about dentistry, and national firms too. You know, when you see for me, when I see something come in like a national firm, I think of it in terms of, like, Buffalo is known for its hole-in-the-wall restaurants, right. The small restaurants that make it unique, you know what I mean? Right. Not the big national firms, you know, you can get those anywhere. And I kind of think it must be the same way with dentistry.
It's a great comparison. So the movement in dentistry is consolidation, so a lot of offices are very corporate right now. We have remained privately owned. It's my private business, and we are very proud of it. And it separates us from the rest because the quality of the work is higher, the attention to detail is better, and patients in general are happier because they see the same provider every time they come. They bond to us, we have a relationship with them, and they feel like family when they come in.
How many implant surgeries do you think you've done?
We do on average about between 800 and 1,000 implants every year.
Really?
Yes.
800 and 1,000. And these individuals come back to you so that you can check to make sure everything is going well?
Yes, we encourage patients to do that every 4 to 6 months. Absolutely.
What, to the average viewer right now, that is dealing with dentures or has dealt with dentures in the past, that has broken teeth, that have had an accident, that have gum disease or whatever it might be, what's their first step?
Very easy, just pick up the phone or send us an email from our website. And the first step usually is a consultation. They come in and they talk to our implant coordinator. We do either a 3D scan, that's a CAT scan, at no charge to the patient, or we take a panoramic x-ray, again, at no charge to the patient. And they get to sit down and talk with implant coordinator and me. Sometimes that consultation lasts for an hour or longer. And we spend all the time with them to pretty much explain all their options, go over what the process would be to do the treatment, and they leave with a very good knowledge and understanding of what to expect. But that's their first step, right? And then usually after the initial consultation, we schedule what's called a records appointment. That's when they come in and we take photographs, we take digital scans of their mouth, of their face. All that gets digitized in the computer, and then we use that to build up their digital sort of a case virtually, and then that goes into surgery.
And this is an evolving process that you're doing, right? The Teeth Now process isn't just something that's stoic, it's fluid, right?
No, absolutely. So the Teeth Now process means that they get their permanent, meaning non-removable teeth within 24 hours of a surgery. Then they go through the healing, and then they get their final or permanent appliance, usually about 5 months after the initial procedure. But they have fixed teeth throughout the entire time. So the process is evolving. There's constantly updates on digital technology out there, and we are right at the cutting edge of all new and digital technologies out there. So we incorporate them into our process constantly.
The other thing I have to say that is very impressive to me, not only all the certifications that you have, but when I look you up online, to see the positive testimonials from people, even down to the fact of saying that you're very affable, you're very nice, you're a great guy. I mean, when they talk about these things, it's more than just what you do professionally, it's how you treat them personally.
Thank you, Joe. It's really humbling to see how many of our patients say good things about us, and we work hard. It's not just me, it's the entire office, my entire team. So all my assistants and hygienists and office staff, we all work towards the same goal, and it is to make patients happy.
And if people are told they're not a candidate for implants, you can tell them maybe differently that they may still be a candidate, correct?
Absolutely. So there's still a small percentage that may not qualify, but most of the time we say, yes, you are a candidate.
Well, that's great. I mean, I think to me, it sounds like it's a simplified process. It is something, when I hear implants, kind of scares me a little bit, but your process seems to be something that I would be agreeable to. So I think that it's something that you've done very well, and I compliment you on that.
Thank you, sir. Appreciate it.
For more information and answers to your questions, contact Dentistry by Dr. Kaplansky by calling 716-772-7500 or go to drkaplansky.com. Promotional and sponsorship consideration provided by the following.
Thanks for watching this edition of the Big WECK Presents Buffalo on the Rise. For information on this and other shows, go to our website, bigweck.com, and find out how you can participate on the program if you're a hometown business. I'm Joe Chili. Thanks for watching and listening to the Big WECK, Buffalo's oldie station.
The Big WECK Presents Buffalo on the Rise was sponsored by Dr. Kaplansky Dental Implants. Get new permanent teeth in 24 hours with our exclusive Teeth Now process.